So what I'm going to do today is actually going to talk about our vision, what we're doing. Everything that we're doing is part of this major ecosystem that we're building, and everything will benefit Litecoin. Okay? So we did a token sale about December of 2017, did about 2,000 Bitcoin around that time. And with that, we've been able to do a lot of initiatives, bought stakes in banks, token space with SAG, bought a stake in a bank, and then gave it to Litecoin. I will talk about all of that at the end of the presentation, explaining why a bank. Now, before I get in, I'll kind of give you a little bit of my background. It's actually pretty interesting. Born and raised in Miami, kind of like Mike. Pretty international mindset. We saw a lot of stuff happening in Miami. Immigrant families, father from Cuba, mom from Spain. And worked at a hedge fund for about 4 years. So I saw it happen from 2004 to 2007, more or less. I saw what was going on in the US, and we all in the hedge fund world knew that the US economy was going to have a problem. We all saw it coming, just didn't know when, what month, what year, but we all saw it coming. And when all that started happening, I decided, you know what, I'm going to leave. I left in June of 2007, and I actually moved to China. Went there, studied Chinese, and lived there for about 8 years. Started a business to help foreigners go to China, study Chinese. After that, closed it down, and then eventually joined the Chinese startup, which is robotics education, teach kids how to code and build robots. I actually got exposed to Bitcoin in about 2011 or 12, when actually merchants inside Beijing were actually accepting Bitcoin. Little did I not know is that one of the largest mining companies was starting to be formed right before my eyes, and I didn't even notice. And what I saw in China is something that I'm going to see, what we're going to all see in this world. China, believe it or not, is the future. It's hard to believe. How many of you guys have actually been to China? Okay. By the end of this year, next year, you guys should all go there. It really is the future. What I saw in China was, in 2008, everybody paying in cash. 2 years later, everybody was paying with debit cards. By the time WeChat came around, everybody was paying electronically. Does anybody know exactly how WeChat how WeChat got really popular in China? Anybody? Games, more or less. It was actually in the Chinese New Year, they had this promotion where if you shake your phone, you would get free money. Everybody likes free money, right? So they did that, and all of a sudden they had millions of users overnight. But guess what they started doing? They started building apps and adding more apps, and they became this centralized force where if you cannot survive without WeChat in China. I believe that a lot of this is going to start happening with crypto. There is, believe it or not, too much decentralization of apps right now. We have way too many. So part of our vision is to start putting this all together. And this is kind of where it all starts. We believe a bank is really the best broker or the best ability to increase this liquidity. Everybody talks about liquidity in exchanges. The reality is the banking infrastructure is that liquidity. You need to go from the old world to the new world. And having that bank infrastructure is extremely important. And that's something that Charlie Lee believed in. That's why we did this.